Hey y'all, um, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Thought I would go on a live stream, and I certainly hope that nobody comes in here. And you know what I'm saying. I hope that everybody has a life on Saturday evening, except for myself, right? But I thought I would come in here, and I guess probably snatch up a straggler, if you will. There might be one person in the whole world who does not have a life like myself, and if that person does exist, I thought I would use and abuse them somehow, some way. All right, and I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't have a concept or a theme in mind necessarily, and so I figured I would go to my go-to. All right, which is Google. They're very legitimate, and they bring me all the news. They bring me more news than I could ever dream of myself. All right. And so, without further ado, this is Google and the straight up hot, wet garbage that they're going to throw at us. And when I say us, I mean myself, because there's nobody viewing me right now. All right. Perhaps if I was on my original channel, which has hundreds of subscribers, individual subscribers, hundreds. Well, maybe I'd get one or two more people, but the thing is, as you may well know, I was banned, alright? That's because I'm a hateful individual, alright? And we all know it. I'm pretty sure that's what we all know, that I have all sort of hate in my heart. And everything that I do is bad. It's very bad. And YouTube can't afford it, unfortunately. Alright, we're going to probably talk about that a little bit later in a little bit of greater detail. As you could tell, I'm in the San Antonio, perhaps Live Oak area. San Antonio. It's about 86 degrees Fahrenheit or something, or I don't know if that's the high, or I don't know what it's saying. It says 73. Trust me, out there it's San Antonio and it's nighttime, and it feels like daytime. It's hot out there. All right, in September, I was just out there. And I was walking around getting some groceries, and I actually got some Panda Express earlier. That's not good for you at all, but I ate it, and it was very cheap. And I appreciated it. They gave me some crab rangoons, some spring rolls. They weren't that good, but hey, it wasn't that expensive. All right, so thought I would just, go ahead and do this stream. Why? I don't know why, but I felt like I owed y'all something. And when I say y'all, I mean nobody, because nobody's watching this. But perhaps somebody will watch it later and they'll be entertained by it, and I couldn't even tell you why. But there's some sick people out there, and they probably would like to watch me and stuff like that. You're not watching me, you're actually listening to me. The reason is because, I don't really have great lighting right in here right now. So if I did put on the camera, let me see what happens. Put on the camera. I think I could do that if I push that button. Camera. First of all, I don't have a shirt on, and that's terrible. But you can't really see that. Oh man, I got Panda Express in my teeth. That's embarrassing. But also, I got the phone on the ground, camera's pointing up at me, and of course I look creepy. All right, and so that would totally eliminate people from wanting to see the stream. All right, and so that's why I'm not gonna do it. All right, I'll save you from that mess. And like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, but you really can't mess with Google and their news. They're giving us all sort of news, and we're all up in the tribulation. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good. Wisconsin Governor Evers. First of all, who in the world even in Wisconsin, knows who the governor of Wisconsin is. I mean, you have to live a sad, miserable life to know, to know who the governor of Wisconsin is, right? But Governor Evers calls for a firearm confiscation and criminalization, right? That doesn't sound very good. But, however, what I do have to stress, I guess if I was to use that word, is that they're coming for your guns, and I'm sorry about it. The thing is, those people who are coming for your guns, and this could be any number of people. I'm not specifying a certain group of people, just anybody in the world who knows you have guns and wants you to not have them. All right, they are coming for them, and they dedicate their whole life to that, right? And actually, kind of find out, I think that is what got me banned from my original channel. That's because I was talking about them. I was talking about these people. Like I said, if you're being robbed at your house, and actually there was a news story about that very recently in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're being robbed from your house, those particular people who are robbing you, they're definitely not going to want you to have your guns, right? If you do so happen to own guns, they're going to say all sort of things like, give me your guns, or break yourself off, or whatever, or you have too much guns, you don't need that many guns, something like you don't need, you know what I mean? That gun fires too fast and too many rounds, and so therefore you don't need it. All right, we need to confiscate that gun from you. That's what a criminal would say. Probably in less words and probably a lot louder and angrier. But basically, you understand that that's what they're all on the same wavelength. These people out here, I don't know how many people, but it's a lot of them. And they want your guns. They want them desperately. And I'll leave it at that. Here's the thing, and we're going to go into more detail. We might disagree, you and me. We might even have guns, right? And we might disagree with these people who want our guns desperately. But whatever you do, do not refer to those people as any sort of animal on YouTube, because that is not good. That is against their terms of service. Any sort of animal, and it doesn't matter if you're specifying a specific group of people. Not at all. You don't have to do that. But if you refer to those people as any sort of animal, that's not good. I'll have to go ahead and agree with YouTube. That's terrible, right? You shouldn't do that. You should never, ever, ever do that. And I won't do it ever again, right? I'll never, ever, ever do that ever again. I'll never refer to them as hyenas, because that is a sort of animal, and that is dehumanizing, and that'll be against the terms of service on YouTube. All right, the school board will allow Go Trump mega sign on the scoreboard. Dang. It's a lot of hold on one second. Having a little drink here on Saturday evening, all by myself, talking to myself. There's a lot of controversy. I don't know if we might take a look at a picture. The school board will allow Trump, MAGA, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know about y'all. Look, Go Trump, hashtag MAGA, Veep Electric. I don't know. Thing is, they're allowing Veep Electric, right? That's an advertisement. Somebody, like, it's not vulgar or anything like that. So somebody paid money to have the Veep Electric thing on the billboard for the Indians, by the way. And the Indians, which that may or may not be a vulgar slur. But, okay. So they paid money for that, so you'd figure, and somebody did figure, that they could pay money to put Go Trump, hashtag MAGA, and they paid good money, American money probably, for that advertisement on the billboard, right? And people were probably mad about it and probably very upset, but I don't think most people are, to be honest with you. If you're planning on attending the East Limestone's home football game, which I am not planning on that. If you are planning to go to that football game tonight, you may notice a sign on the scoreboard that is causing a bit of a stir, right? Why? Because Donald Trump is racist, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the article for you. That's it. That's all what it is, okay? Because Donald Trump is racist. Meanwhile, literally he's not, all right? And literally if he was, there's literally no way that you could prove it at all. I mean, when you just point out his whole lifespan, that not for one moment was he ever racist. Now, you could disagree, and of course some people do, with his policies. Of course you're not going to agree with all the president's policies, right? There's no way that you're going to agree with every last one of his policies. But that does not make him racist. See, these people, they don't have a point, right? And so they make stuff up. And so, you used to be able to support the president. In fact, Britney Spears could tell you all about it before she went crazy cuckoo nutballs. You used to be able to support the president if you wanted to, but now you can't, right? Or that's controversial somehow, some way. And it's becoming a real big deal in the high schools and stuff like that, or the colleges. I really don't know or care. Man catches bass in floodwaters while eating Whataburger. It's officially a Texas hero. Who could even care? Who could even care less? I mean, I'm not hating on the man. I think he has a nice beard. And he's eating Whataburger and he's catching a fish. And it's like, I don't have a problem with any of that. Except for, I really don't have a problem. He can eat whatever he wants. I personally don't eat at Whataburger no more because I feel like they've let us down. But that's a totally another different story, and I don't want to really talk about it. But it's a southern thing to eat Whataburger, and if you don't know what that is, there's a sign in the back. You can only see half of it, but that's a Whataburger sign. In Texas, that's kind of like a thing that everybody knows about Whataburger, all right? It's a chain restaurant that serves hamburgers that are pretty dang good, to be honest. They're not the best, but they're all right. And then usually they'll be served with mayo and mustard, and they taste pretty good. All right. I have not been eating there recently because they kind of sold out a little bit. And, business is business. I'm not here to dictate what everybody does with their business, but I still haven't gone to Whataburger since they sold out a little bit. All right, that's just my thing. I don't think he's a hero for catching a fish. It's like, dude, I know all sort of people who catch fishes. I really do. Like, I know people who catch fishes. And more than likely, they do catch them while eating Whataburger. It's like, who even makes this into a story? All right, Salt Lake City, police chief signs letter is supporting criminals over blah, blah, blah. I looked into it just very briefly earlier. And I don't know or care, but, what they're trying to say is that the Salt Lake City, Utah police chief is supporting illegal immigration, which is not good, right? I love everybody on the earth. I mean, the thing is, YouTube doesn't want to hear that. They don't believe that, but I do. I love everybody on the earth. I don't hate anybody. Everybody deserves justice on them for the bad things that they do, if they do happen to do bad things. But however, people need to stay in their country, probably, or if they want to immigrate to other countries, not just America, but like if you want to immigrate to any country, you should probably get their permission before you do that. You should probably do that very legally, or else you're a criminal. I don't know how else to put that. Chelsea Handler on why she changed her mind about women. I'm not sure what that means. First of all, before we get into it, if we ever mention Chelsea Handler, ever, it's not because she's important or interesting. I don't think she's either one of those things. But the news, like MSNBC, they would love to constantly, if they could only talk about Chelsea Handler, they would. That's what they would do eagerly. Hold on. That's what they would do. I'm drinking a Shiner Bock, by the way. I don't know if y'all know about that out there, but if you're in the San Antonio area or if you're in like, South Central Texas, probably, you know what a Shiner Bock is. It's a fine beer made in the area, and we're pretty well proud of it. Hopefully they don't sell out and everything. But, okay, before we mention Chelsea Handler, we're just going to take a look at the headline. I just want to mention, before we ever mention her, she got peed on, unfortunately, right? I mean, some people like to have that done to them. I don't know. I personally wouldn't like that, and I would find that very disrespectful if someone were to pee on me, right? But literally, I believe his name's Jason Biggs. He's an actor. He was in American Pie. He peed on her face and everything like that on videotape. And then Chelsea Handler, instead of filing charges or making a complaint somewhere, she laughed about it and she said, "That's great. I love for people to pee on my face." And you like to think that I'm making that up, but no, I'm not making that up. Not at all. Weekend events. Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to see what the heck she said. I forgot about that. But just so to mention, if we ever bring her up, that is what she's known for forever and ever. And that's good. Chelsea Handler. Oh, man. Gosh dang. I don't want to see this picture. Or look at these imbeciles laughing. I don't know who they are, but they're laughing at each other. Chelsea Handler on why she changed her mind about women crying at work. Like, we're not going to read any of this. Did Chelsea Handler, hey, that's the President of the United States. And did Chelsea Handler have an opinion about women crying at work? Maybe she did. I don't know what it is, or nor do I care. But apparently she changed her mind about it, and that made the news. Weekend events near San Antonio that are worth checking out. I guess this would be a llama, right? Or something like that. Some sort of exotic animal. We don't really have those in San Antonio naturally, but the thing is, I tell you what, you'll find any animal on earth in San Antonio somewhere wandering around, I'm sure. Somebody owns one of those, whatever it is. And I think that goes for probably Texas in general, but it's amazing, dude. Like, somebody owns some sort of animal, no matter what animal it is, in San Antonio. And it's just wild that people own those things. Are we going to do it again? Bill Maher warns Democrats against, I don't know, we're going to have to look into that, but he's probably warning them against their miserable failing policies, more likely. That's what I would do. Their stances on things are wild failures, and that's why they keep on promoting, but they keep doing it, and I don't know, they're just not going to stop. Are we going to do it again? Bill Maher warns Democrats against attacks on Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah, they are going to do it again, for sure. Why? I don't know. I think the most articulate thing that they've said about being against Brett Kavanaugh is that he is going to ban all their abortions. And Lord knows they love abortions to the point of celebrating abortions, you know what I mean? Like, it used to be, oh man, we need to have them just in case, just in case something, if it's an emergency, we need to abort a baby and stuff like that, just for emergencies. Now it's like, oh, we love it, we're going to celebrate it, we're going to throw parties with confetti and stuff like that every time that we do this, that we're capable of doing this. So the point is that some people actually fetishize it. And I wish that I was joking or making that up, but no, I'm not. So whenever they think about Brett Kavanaugh, they're like, oh no, he's going to ban all our abortions. And that's terrible. We can't have that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lie about him. And we're going to make stuff up. And just to no end. And we're going to keep doing it. And when we're caught doing it, we're going to say, oh, well, he deserved it because he's trying to ban our abortions. I don't know if I summed that up completely in a nutshell, basically, but I think that I did. About that $15 minimum wage for county government workers, blah, blah, blah. It's really dumb. I'm just here to tell you. I know a lot of people love the idea of minimum wage. I'm just here to say it's really dumb. It's going to make everything inflated. It's going to inflate the cost of everything that you buy, to include your groceries and everything else. Your rent, everything. Everything's going to get inflated. Just so you know, and you might be like, oh, well, I can afford it, or oh, I'm going to move into a tiny house, or whatever. Like, I don't care. I want the minimum wage and stuff like that. Maybe you do, and we're just going to agree to disagree. I'll just let you know that, that would totally screw me over. I mean, as county government workers, I'm not one of those, but like, say if you were to have a federally mandated minimum wage or something like that, first of all, cost of living goes up and down depending on where you are from state to state. So I know a lot of people, they know that, and they want to make it from state to state. But for example, if you were to make $15 minimum wage, and I know that it doesn't matter, but it would totally screw me over, just to let you know, because I do make that. I make a little bit more than that, but it would screw me over because it would basically, in a nutshell, make it to where I am now making minimum wage, even though I'm not. All right, like today I'm not. I make over $15, and that's well above minimum wage. But if you were to change the minimum wage to $15, that would make me pretty much in poverty. All right, but I know those people don't care. Breaking R. Kelly in court. Yeah, he was in court, and I saw a little bit of that. I saw Tommy Sotomayor actually talking about that a little bit, and he was laughing a lot, and it was kind of funny. In a sense, I mean, there's a lot of legal jargon being thrown around, and it may be a little bit hard to understand. But for those of us who can kind of like comprehend what it is that they're saying, R. Kelly was up in court, and he was looking just sad. Yeah. I'm not going to say either way what he did, what he didn't do. I don't know what he did. I know what he's being accused of, but that's different from, oh, yeah, he did it. You got to prove that he did it, all right? Or at least that used to be the case in America. All right, but R. Kelly, he's like being accused of all these things and stuff, and he's being dragged through the mud. And, he might be guilty of these things. I don't know. All right, but he was looking all sort of miserable. And real briefly, I do want to mention Tekashi 6ix9ine, which we don't have a picture of him. Maybe it'll pop up, but Tekashi 6ix9ine, I wanted to mention that. I want to mention Justin Bieber. If you know what I mean, you probably don't. I want to mention Aaron Carter. If you Google Aaron Carter right now, you're going to instantaneously see what I'm talking about. Just like how miserable the lives of celebrities can be, right? And typically they are very miserable lives. And yeah, they're flooded in money and stuff like that. They're always like throwing money around, but still they lead miserable lives, all right? You don't want to be a celebrity at all. That's not what you want to do. Unless it's on your own terms and stuff like that, and typically it isn't for celebrities. That's what I want to stress. If you're a celebrity, you're probably going to end up in court looking miserable and foolish and shameful at a certain point in your life. So you probably don't want to do that. As far as Tekashi 6ix9ine, I gotta say, it's wild. He may come up in the Google News, he may not. I'm not sure what's all down the line for the Google News. I didn't look it up, but I gotta say, he's snitching everybody out, just like I pretty much figured he would snitch everybody out. Just like everybody in the world figured he would snitch everybody out. And that's the thing. People right now, I'm getting the feeling that most people are like, oh, he's snitching everybody out. He's not about that life. Oh, he's not living how he's rapping and stuff. Most of these rappers are not living how they rap, I promise you. And even if they did, how does that make it any better? Because most of these rappers are talking about living stupid, plumb retarded lives. And, what's the point of doing that? What's the point of living a violent gangsterish life? Like, that's not good either. Either way, it's not good. And yet, still, these people are very popular. If you just sing about rapping, and if you just rap about singing and killing people and stuff like that, you're gonna be super famous. And you probably shouldn't. Like, that's not a good thing. Either way, it's not a good thing. Whether you're lying about it or whether you're telling the truth is literally not a good thing either way. That's not to say R. Kelly sings about that sort of stuff. He doesn't. But, I'm just saying about Tekashi 6ix9ine. People are all upset that he's snitching everybody out and that he doesn't live that life. And that's terrible. Problem is, here's what I gotta say. What should be obvious to anybody, to everybody, is if Tekashi's telling the truth, if he is telling the truth, there is no way he's making this out alive. I don't even know why he is snitching, because he is gonna get dealt with really bad, all over the place, and quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's not even gonna be a problem, right? If he is telling the truth, he may be lying about everything, but probably he isn't, because he is talking to the feds. The thing is about R. Kelly, because he's the one up here, is that they're having all sort of controversy over his bond, and somebody put up his bond and this and that, and they want their money back, and all sort of drama. It's very shameful. Police, no indication car driving through Woodfield Mall incident was terrorist attack. Man in custody. I don't know anything about this, y'all. All right, but apparently, it's breaking news. Apparently, there was a car driving through the mall. All right. Thing is, if you look at the headline, you'll think, "Oh man, is this a terrorist attack?" That's what they're wondering. Is it a terrorist attack or is it not a terrorist attack? When you look up the definition of terrorism, obviously, you'll find out that there's typically some sort of political or maybe a religious motive involved. Like, you do something very bad and scary in order to get your political agenda or your religious agenda across, and you make all sort of the people who were not involved in the scenario, you make all sort of people scared later on that it might happen again, right? And that'll make it a terrorist attack, all right? Here's the thing about what this headline's not gathering is that it does not matter, all right? What truly matters is that somebody was driving through the mall and probably trying to run people over at the same time. That's bad in and of itself. All right, I'll just leave it at that. Blink 182 has a new song out. And that's interesting. I wonder if it's the 3 original members. I don't think so. Because I know that one of the members, he doesn't want to be in there, or maybe he did, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter to me. Former One Direction member Liam Payne dating San Antonio's Maya Henry. Here's the thing about it. Maya Henry, whoever that is not San Antonio's Maya Henry, because who is that, and who even cares? Who would possibly care? That's what blows my mind. Who is that? Who cares? More than likely, Liam Payne is a homosexual, even though that's not a problem. If he is a homosexual, it does not bother me at all. I'm just saying, it's, who cares, right? And like, who even cares? But San Antonio's Maya Henry is actually inaccurate, because I don't know who that is, nor do I care who that is. If you're from San Antonio, then that's fine. All right, there's a lot of people from San Antonio. But if you're not known, if you're not a known person, then it's like, dude, it's a child of San Antonio. It's Maya Henry. It's like, dude, we don't care who that is. People don't hardly even know who the mayor of San Antonio is. All right, Maya Henry, whoever that is not a celebrity, and who even cares? That's on the news, right? That's like the BS that they want to have us believe that that's the news. It's not. Recognizing a week when San Antonio surged ahead, the Rivard Report, here's what I got to say about this. The Rivard Report is an absolute hack publication full of retarded monkeys, and they're not monkeys, all right? I'm sorry about that. That's against the terms of service, and I did not mean to say that, and they're not retarded either. I didn't mean to use that word either. It's just an illegitimate publication of hack writers who have a political agenda. I'm here to tell you. and it's a bad one at that. It's not even a good political agenda. It's really bad for you. Here, one thing that I heard recently, and it's being brought up by Google News, is Alex Jones with Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli. They did a thing just a couple of days ago, and I actually listened in on some of it, and it was really, really good and really entertaining. It's very, very funny and very interesting. They talked about a lot of stuff, to include the flat Earth and everything else. They talked about a lot of things, and it was extremely entertaining. And by the way, they're banned on YouTube, but if you do want to find them on YouTube, and this broadcast in particular, I'm sure that you could find it with the greatest of ease, even though they're banned. Chelsea Handler says she needed therapy before interview. Chelsea Handler looks like it seems like she's a miserable human being of epic proportions. That's terrible. She kind of looks like a ghoul, and that's terrible too. Family of Whitey Bulger to file $200 million wrongful death claim. He was beaten in jail, y'all, to death, I think, from what I heard. And that probably shouldn't be a thing that happens to you in jail, but it does happen from time to time. And so jails, I guess, get sued for that, which probably does make sense. And, I hear a lot of people say that he was set up, like, by the jail and by the people who run the jail in order for this to happen. And I would totally believe that. I'd certainly believe that. America's great climate exodus is starting in the Florida Keys. That's the thing. This is completely fake news, right? There is no climate exodus at all. In reference to America, like, there is no American great climate exodus, all right? However, ever since I could understand what people were talking about, like since I was a little bitty baby, basically understanding English, I knew that the Florida Keys were a dangerous, dangerous place in which hurricanes hit them left and right all the time during rainy season. And I personally wouldn't want to live there just because of all the hurricanes and stuff like that. So, people exiting that area, I couldn't argue with that. I mean, I really just couldn't argue with that. But it's not an American climate exodus. I mean, that does not make any sense. What it is fear-mongering. Shameless fear-mongering by Bloomberg. Here's a ghoul right here. Bill Maher. He looks like a ghoul, at least. He blasts Democrats for reviving Kavanaugh battle. What were you like at 17? I mean, here's the thing about Bill Maher. He makes some good points. Like I say, he's like a ghoul and stuff like that. I don't really watch his stuff, but I've heard him made points, and half the time they're good points, and half the time they're horribly destructive points and bad for society. That's what I would say. I mean, that's my humble opinion, but that's what it is. It's like half and half. With Bill Maher, it's like hit or miss. It makes me wonder about his brains, because he's either way on or way off, depending on what he's talking about. Biden criticized after snarking to female moderator, sexism with a smile. I don't know what it is. Biden, here's the thing. I don't know what this is about. I don't really respect Fox News at all. The headline is stupid, and I don't even know what it means. But I will tell you this. Biden has not a single chance on earth at all, be it from his bloody eyeball, be it from his incoherent ramblings, be it from his dentures falling out literally while he's answering questions. Just any number of things. His corruption, probably, with his son over there in the Ukraine. There's so many reasons. Him being very creepy with young children in public. There's so many things. It's an unending list of things, right? Why Biden just can't be the president, never will be. And you pretty much say that about every Democratic candidate. Oh, here we got Tekashi. He did come up. All right, so he's up in the Google News. Check him out. This guy, the controversial use of rap lyrics as evidence, and they keep talking about that. They talk about it over and over and over again. I mean, take Tekashi's face out of this. Put any rapper's face in this. Who's been in court recently, and they're like, "Oh, this is so controversial. You use his rap lyrics as evidence. Oh, it's controversial. You can't do that. It's against the First Amendment. Blah blah blah." It's kind of dumb. It's really kind of dumb. And it's just to be real simple. If you are a criminal, let's just say hypothetically you are a criminal. You do criminal things all the time. Maybe you want to rap about it, sort of. Okay. Hypothetically, you should be very ambiguous with what you're saying. You shouldn't be very specific, because if you are very specific, you're pretty much incriminating yourself. And when that happens, don't be surprised if they use that against you in court. And they keep using it against rappers in court, like over and over and over and over again. It's not a new thing. But, y'all, just give myself a dang Charlie horse. Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg. All right, hold on. I might cut this broadcast off and deal with the Charlie horse in my leg. But before we cut it off, I just want to say they're going to keep doing it. They're just going to keep doing it, all right? They're going to keep doing it, and it's going to keep working in the court cases. And these hacks writing for the New Yorker, they're going to be like, "Oh, is this controversial? Can they do this? Blah, blah, blah." Yeah, they can do it, and they're going to continue to do it. They've been doing it for a while. Guess what? If you're going to rap, you should probably make it very ambiguous in regards to your criminality. That probably should be what you're going to do. Or you could just not rap about being a criminal and actually try to set a good example. I know that that's not going to happen for most of these rappers out here who make it onto the charts. And notice this. I don't hardly listen to rap music anymore, so I don't have time. But if I did listen to rap music, there's an unending world of rap music and rappers who don't rap about committing crimes. All right? I mean, there's probably thousands, tens of thousands of rappers who literally rap about other stuff than committing crimes. All right? And you could listen to it to no end, rap music that has nothing to do with committing crimes. But however, you'll know that if they're on the radio or if they're on the pop charts or something like that, it's definitely going to be about committing crimes and criminality. And you gotta wonder yourself why that is. That's not an accident. All right. Just so that you know, you get the pattern of what it's supposed to do. All right, you're supposed to have tattoos on your face and stuff like that. All right, here's the thing. Like I said before, Tekashi 6ix9ine can spill the beans all he wants. It's going to be extremely hard for him to hide. And if in fact he is telling the truth, first of all, if he's lying, well, that's going to get him in all sort of trouble, ain't it? Because the feds are going to figure it out, right? They'll figure it out on you if you're lying. Okay, if you're telling the truth, Tekashi 6ix9ine is as good as gone, right? Period. I'm not going to be the one that does it. I'm not in that world. But I'm here to tell you, if he's telling the truth about what he's saying, his life is done, dude. Sticking a fork in him. He's done. There's no way he's going to make this out alive, all right? He's probably not going to see 2020. I'm here to tell you. And that's unfortunate, but, that's what he signed on to, I guess. I guess that's what he signed on to. And the thing is, I'm not even saying I don't like the guy or whatever, as far as, he's got a charming personality in a sense. I've seen him on the Breakfast Club and stuff like that. In a sense, he's sort of charming, but at the same time, he's dug a hole for himself so deep, there ain't no getting out of it. He probably won't see 2020, right? There's people out there who are so stupid. First of all, everybody in that world, I'm coming to find out, are just really stupid beyond belief, right? They don't hardly know how to talk and stuff like that. They're really dumb to no end, right? But they're thinking, oh, he's going to snitch out and he's going to get out and he's not going to face no time and stuff like that. He's not about that life, and he's such a snitch and this and that. He's going to get killed, dude, regardless. If what he's saying is true, there's no way out for him. There's no way out for him. So I don't know why he would even go through the trouble of doing that. because he's going to get killed, and probably in a very heinous way, and it's unfortunate. I was able to rub that Charlie horse out real quick. Man, I get that from time to time, man, when I get dehydrated. And so I don't know if we're gonna keep going. Let's go. Let's just go. Let's blitz through it. Let's blitz through the rest of this right quick, because there ain't nobody watching me anyways, y'all. And so I'm, go ahead and drink the rest of this Shiner in a second, and just take it easy. But we'll do a little blitz for the rest of these little news items that Google wants to tell us about. It's not too many. It's kind of a lot, I guess, but we're going to run through them real quick. All right. Hold on. Let's see. Where were we at? Yeah. Chick-fil-A, obviously. God, oh, man. It's going to be bad. All right. Suspended student climate activist can go to prom now. Principal says he was never banned. All these high schoolers or whatever, they're doing this climate thing. They want to stop the climate from changing. That's going to be impossible, literally impossible. But they do want to stop it from changing, because they've been so brainwashed to think that they can stop the climate from changing. And that's not ever happen, and it won't ever happen. It's going to change regardless, right? They think it's like human done, and they hate humans, and they want humans to stop human activity and stuff like that. And they're getting suspended from school. Okay, I'm still Joaquin's dad. Parkland father takes to the stage ahead of national tour. For a while now, as far as Joaquin Oliver's dad, whatever his name, Manuel Oliver, and this is in reference to Parkland, he's been doing things that'll lead you to believe that he's insane. And this is actually over the top. This is the last straw, basically. As you could tell right here quite clearly, this man needs to be put in an institution. I don't know how else to put it. If I had to convince you of that, then there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry about that. Chick-fil-A has officially removed a problematic item from its menu. What they're talking about, I believe, is antibiotics, from their chicken. Thereby making Chick-fil-A the best ever, and it's been the best ever for a while, and they continue to be the best ever. CBP chief rips into reckless lawmakers for attacks on border agents, warns it's hurting morale. People should probably stop attacking government officials because that will hurt the morale. Justin Trudeau's affluenza teen, I don't know what that means. Probably they're trying to make excuses for him. They probably shouldn't. He is a dang loser. Funeral held for journalist Cokie Roberts in Washington, D.C. Oh, man, I've heard of this person before, actually. I know that there's a school somewhere in San Antonio that's named after this lady. I didn't know who she was or why they named her a school after her. I don't know, but she died, I guess. That's unfortunate. Torchy's Tacos, fourth Torchy's Tacos location is coming to San Antonio. Is that a big deal? It's like, San Antonio, just to let y'all know, is probably about 1 million taco locations. All right, and I'm exaggerating, but not by very much at all. In San Antonio, there's so many locations for tacos. Apparently there's 4, and somehow that made the news. I don't know. Hopefully somebody got paid. I don't know why that would make the news, but we can't go back. It's freezing on us. Kevin Hart, he was recently in a car crash. I know that, and thankfully he's not hurt, and I don't think anybody else, I mean, he's hurt, but he didn't die, and I don't think anybody died in that particular crash. Kevin Hart lawsuit almost certain in car crash. Well, that's the thing about it. Kevin Hart, unfortunately, for everybody, it's bad to hear when people get in car crashes. He's got so many millions of dollars, so I don't think it'll really hurt at the financial aspect of it. Yahoo is offering to pay up to $358 if you had a Yahoo email between this time and that time to settle a class action lawsuit. Probably because they sold your information, and that's what they meant to do. All right. Everyone should have a moral code, says developer who deleted code sold to ICE. Um, Probably he's saying, illegal immigrants. Here's to paraphrase: illegal immigrants should be able to run wild all over America, and we shouldn't have to have laws, especially if you're not a citizen. And so that's what his morals are. Tim McGraw honors best friend Faith Hill on her 52nd birthday. Uh, his wife. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I thought that she was married, and I guess she isn't married to Tim McGraw, and they're best friends, and that's awesome, I guess. And he decided to go on Instagram, which is retarded. So I don't know why he did that. Colt will no longer make AR-15s for civilians, but gun control advocates might not have much to celebrate. Of course they won't, because these people won't celebrate until nobody can buy guns ever, except for criminals. And until criminals run roughshod on everybody, they're not going to be happy about anything. All right. How Netanyahu's campaign against Israel's Arab citizens backfired. Arab citizens. As you can imagine, I'm not even going to go ahead. You can imagine how that turned out. All right. So Meghan McCain storms off the View set after argument with Ana Navarro on whistleblowers. As it turns out, this is a series of broads squawking at each other, and sometimes they get emotional and they storm off, if you can imagine that. American Airlines emergency landing after passengers smokes joint. That's incredible, y'all. I don't know. I'm not even going to add to that. More blood pressure medication calls due to cancer concerns. Hey, turns out, just so that y'all know, these blood pressure medications that you're supposed to take for the rest of your life and never get off of, and it doesn't do anything to cure you of anything. Those medications that y'all been tricked into taking, or the heartburn medications, if you will, that you're supposed to take every day for the rest of your life, and it's not going to cure anything. Turns out those medications going to give you cancer, apparently. Oh, is that a surprise to y'all? Oh, that's terrible. Yemeni rebels warn Iran plans another strike soon, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of global turmoil, abroad and probably domestic. Pretty dang soon, so look forward to that. Louisiana man dies in Africa after underwater marriage proposal goes wrong. That sounds terrible, y'all. All right, I'm not gonna add to that really, but doesn't that sound terrible? All right. U.S. police assess rise in threat tips after 3 mass killings. I'm sure that they do. Thank you, ABC News, for saving all of our lives. WWE star Goldberg and Dolph Ziggler nearly come to blows during Las Vegas run-in. That's probably a publicity stunt, and it's not a newsworthy item. Ukraine Foreign Minister defends Trump's call with Zelensky. I think there was no pressure, is the semi-quote. Ukraine Foreign Minister defends Trump's call with Zelensky. I don't know who this person is. But if you defend Trump for any reason, that means you're a racist. So, Trump's new argument, he's immune from all criminal investigation in new tax return lawsuit. And they try to make Trump look very guilty in that picture. Greek police arrest suspect in 1985 TWA flight 847 hijacking. Man, see, that's probably a long time coming. 1985, that's actually before I was born. So they finally catch up with this guy, and whoever he is, and say, hey, man, you messed up. You hijacked a plane. Google claims quantum supremacy, marking a major milestone in computing. Hey, it turns out Google's trying to be there's some quantum supremacists, and they're trying to conquer human beings, and they're very close to doing it, if that sounds like a problem to y'all. Here's what's happened with Tesla's ambitious first attempt at the Nürburgring. I'm not gonna even. I don't care what that is. These complete total just really dumb people to put it lightly. It wasn't 2 million people, it was 150 people who were absolutely stupid as hell. And, as you can see right here, they weren't killed like for trying to do what they did, but they were probably mocked and probably thrown in jail and stuff. Department of Homeland Security strategy adds white supremacy as a list of threats. I'm here to tell you that's all made up. These people right here, they're actually made up. Who even cares about what they're saying? And even if they were saying it legitimately, who cares? Like, they don't have power over anything. Like, it is a joke. If it was a real thing, it's a joke. But it's not a real thing, and so who cares? Big three jump on Kavanaugh claims, ignore a correction. That's true, and there are, when they say the big three, they mean like the big three news outlets or whatever, 3 or 4, and yeah, of course they're going to totally smear Kavanaugh because they love abortions to no end. Mark Ronson says he's a sapiosexual, which is you just make any word and put in front of sexual, and you have yourself a sexual fetish, and now you're famous. All right, Beyonce shares her a glimpse of her twins, Sir and Rumi, in never before seen Halloween photo. That's not a news item, and that's who cares. Chick-fil-A has more than doubled sales since critics call for boycott. Well, that's because they're delicious. Antonio Brown looks sad as he lands in Miami post Patriots firing. He probably isn't all that sad considering all the money he has, probably. Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Jenner broke up, says source. They're still friends. Caitlyn Carter, my bad. I just thought in my head Caitlyn Jenner, but I was about to say, damn, Caitlyn Jenner, really? But no, Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Carter, whoever that is, who cares? They probably had some scissor action and stuff like that, and just who cares? Like, that's none of my business. Army recruit 18 dies after medical emergency at Fort Jackson. That sounds bad. God rest his soul, whoever this guy is. Ad Astra, a journey upriver to meet your demons, internal and otherwise. Brad Pitt, he's the guy to have you meet your demons. Trisha Yearwood on the best career advice Reba McEntire ever gave her. That's in the news, y'all, if you want to hear that. Impossible burgers aren't healthy, and that's the whole point. What's the whole point? What do you mean? The whole point is to be unhealthy? I don't know. The Impossible Burgers, just so you know, it's like a meatless burger, and that's what creeps me out about vegans so much, or like vegetarians, I guess. Some of them. It's like, if you're such a vegan or vegetarian, don't you think it's really dumb to want to bite into flesh as much as you all want to bite into flesh? Like, you're always wanting to eat burgers and chicken nuggets. It's like, why don't you just eat some lettuce and like stuff that's naturally made out of vegetables? Why do you gotta always want to be biting into flesh so bad that you make this soy stuff and you pound it into a flesh-like material? It's like, never think about that. Like, why are y'all so thirsty for flesh? Meanwhile, trying so desperately to virtue signal or whatever you're doing. Royal Caribbean makes change after receiving feedback from book guests. I'm sure they do. Like, all this stuff is like pretty boring. Billionaire pays $34 million to settle Morehouse student loan debt for class of 2019, which is just a generally nice thing to do and stuff like that. I mean, he's a billionaire and stuff, so you spent $34 million. That's more money than I'll ever see put together all in my life. And he gave that to people, and I'm sure some people have a problem with that, because people have problems. U.S. to deploy military forces in Saudi Arabia, UAE, after drone attacks on oil sites, which is a big deal, so that y'all know. Very big deal. It might lead to all sort of World War IV or 5 or whatever we're on right now. Ilhan Omar's daughter is Isra Hirsi, who's not really, I mean, that's not attractive, and I'm sorry to say it. I know she's a little kid, but damn, dude, look at that forehead. That's a 5 head. I'm sorry to say it, but doesn't that just stand out? I mean, like, I'm sorry. That's a terrible picture, I guess. How Ilhan Omar's daughter Isra Hirsi is connecting the fight against climate change to Black lives. Wow. Wow. So, all right, I'm just going to leave it at that. Breaking down the whistleblower frenzy. Jonathan Van Ness of Queer Eye comes out. Comes out of what? I guess comes out with he's got HIV. Well, that's terrible. It's Tekashi 6ix9ine. The 9 Trey trial. What we've learned so far, blah, blah, blah. Chelsea Handler exploits her white privilege, promoting from exposing white privilege. Downsized to one of these 5 tiny homes in San Antonio. They want to move you into tiny homes, by the way. That's part of the Green Deal. Move you into a tiny home. Shut you the hell up. I don't even want to read all this stuff, man. Okay, that was pretty much the end of it, y'all. And I'm tired, and I'm sure you're tired too. I bet you nobody's watched all this and like